this person named Andrew Steinwald. He said NFTs are the Trojan horse that will bring mass adoption to cryptocurrency. I think that was huge because that's what's happening right now.
Hello everyone, welcome to She Ready podcast. I am your host Amolika. This week's episode features Aditya Mehta, founder and CEO of Art&Found, a platform that curates the best of digital art from South Asia. In this episode, we mainly discussed NFTs and how it impacts the art industry. Aditya made some great points. He's super enthusiastic about the topic and I really enjoyed speaking with him. So let's get into it.
Feel like I almost manifested this conversation because one of my friends, Palak, she runs this Instagram page called Window Shop Lens, and she mentioned Art&Found in one of her posts. And I just went on your Instagram page and website, and it was like, yeah, okay, affordable art and everything. And I have studied art in school, so I know how expensive the industry can be.
Right.
So I clicked on one of the artworks, and before it loaded, I was like, "Yep, it must be this amount. It must be in this range."
Yeah.
And as soon as the price loaded, I was like,
yeah.
Can I not see a zero? Do I need specs, or has the web designer forgotten to add another zero? Because I really couldn't believe the price that I was looking at.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you and Art&Found and.
So my name is Aditya and I'm the founder CEO of Art&Found, a curated marketplace for South Asian artists to sell digital art to global buyers and brands like WeWork, Levi's, and Starbucks. Our mission is to make art accessible and increase the value of art until every artist is self-sustainable. So I started this platform as a side project while at Ogilvy as a senior art director. I was working nights and weekends, to build something for all these super talented designers and artists and illustrators and doodlers, who were spending countless hours doing incredible work, but just putting it up on social media. Back then Facebook was there and Insta was very new. And obviously Behance was there where they could put up the work. But, it was just being uploaded to garner likes, comments, and shares.
Right.
And, I built a platform to help sell all this incredible art for millennials like myself to own. The aim was to help artists monetize their work. I built a beta version and launched it, and it worked. Art&Found curated the best of digital art and created this whole new market for buyers who had never bought art before. And it also opened up traditional art buyers to be able to own digital art by emerging artists. And then about 2 years in, we started collaborating with brands to leverage the power of art, and that really took off.
Right. When did you start Art&Found?
About 2 years, I was working with the full-time job at Ogilvy. And then end of 2016 is when I launched full-time.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
So, but while you were working with Ogilvy, did you always want something of your own?
I guess it was a side project, right? So it sort of accidentally took off. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do something, but I guess it came out of a need for addressing a pain point or opportunity, that I saw of all this incredible work that was out there that needed to be monetized beyond likes, comments, and shares. That was the basis of the idea. And then for millennials like myself to be able to own that sort of art.
Right. So entrepreneurship happened accidentally.
Yeah, you could say that. Absolutely.
So how did your agency background help you in creating Art&Found?
So I think working in a creative agency taught me a multitude of skills, which are crucial to running your own startup. And of course, apart from creative and design skills, and I'm kind of biased towards designer-founded startups like Airbnb, Slack, Pinterest, because I can see how building from design is building from empathy, which really matters in the foundation stages of building your product. And there's the ability to also, make big bets and risky moves and convince brands to do so with bold work. And, without bold work, you're not going to be able to make an impact in an already crowded space, demanding your consumers' attention. I also had a great mentor named Vijay Sawant, who taught me nuances like craft, attention to detail, persistence, and I think overall his values and work ethic just kept me grounded. And I think just being surrounded by an ecosystem of creatives, I was pretty much like at the core of that problem that I was trying to solve.
Right. Interesting. So, what are some of the challenges you faced since you've left your full-time job?
Since I left Ogilvy,
Yeah.
so just the normal challenges of running a startup.
Like what? Like running an art startup. Because in India, people still
Right. Yes.
hold very traditional
Of course.
opinions around art.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. So I guess the challenges really come down to sticking to the mission, right? That why you started this, right? And what is your mission, which is making art accessible and, increasing the value of art. And I think when you're trying to solve something like that, especially for like digital art, which is niche, it's a long-term game. And I think once you come to terms with that, then you're basically just aligned. Everything aligns to just working towards that. Whether you're making art accessible to, global buyers, millennials, or, getting brands in on it, everything helping a digital artist get mainstream. And I think the other challenges are just, normal running a startup, entrepreneur challenges, which you have to tackle, every day.
Okay. So you started Art and Found in 2016. It's going to be 5 years now. It's 2021. What are some of the trends that you've seen in these past 5 years in the art world?
Well, I've seen a huge shift, gradual but big shift towards accepting digital art and artists. In fact, in November, we just got featured on Daily with the headline "Digital Artists." The time is now.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. It was us and a bunch of other artists who got featured, and I think it's because of the work, that we've constantly done, whether it's selling art online or working with brands, and the latter, just gets it more mainstream. The more you're working with brands and digital artists and doing these massive collaborations, the more mass and fans get to see it. So we're noticing this, shift towards what digital art can do, in terms of consumption, but also business for brands.
Okay. And I think NFTs are the new thing in the art world, or even in the tech world, tech finance art world. But what is your understanding of NFTs?
Right. So let's get definitions in place first. So NFTs stand for non-fungible tokens and are not as complicated as they sound. They're basically unique digital assets whose ownership can be tracked on the blockchain. And these can represent anything like virtual art or music files, or even claim on physical items like sneakers or even access to concerts.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember a few years ago when people started selling baseball cards and beanie babies on eBay, and it became like a huge trend. It died out pretty quick, I think. But I think it was similar, like collecting something that's not easily available or something that's very novel or nostalgic.
Absolutely. Yep. You're right. You absolutely bang on the comparison. There's no doubt that NFTs, beyond the bragging rights, there's a deeper reason, which is collecting. And collecting is inherently social. And, NFTs appeal to the human desire to collect things. It's an alternative to collecting baseball cards or Pokemon cards, as you said, out in the West. And, here we've grown up collecting WWF and cricket cards. I remember my brother and I, we collected like 100 center fresh cricket cards and redeemed it for this miniature autographed, cricket bat signed by the national cricket team. And, that was a huge thing for us. So it's the same thing in the physical world. that's now happening in the digital world for the digital native. And now there are certain platforms who are in fact merging the you know physical and virtual world. Like there's a platform named Bitski. They just launched WWE Super cards with Undertaker, and
Oh.
obviously it sold out very quickly. They're limited edition Undertaker NFT cards, and along with that, you get VIP access to tickets to the stadium, and also
Cool.
the title belt amongst other add-ons. So I think
Hmm.
that's a very interesting feature about NFTs, where you're merging the idea of collecting in the physical and virtual world.
Yeah, I think along with collecting, I think it's a lot about ownership, because a lot of people are like, why buy an NFT when I can take a screenshot of it? And I'm like, that's not how it works. I think first of all, you can track it because of blockchain, you can actually track it. Someone will know that it's a screenshot. And second thing is, it's about owning that piece of art. You know, how there is an expensive bag and there are copies of it, but you want to buy the real thing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yep.
about
Yep. Yep.
ownership.
Absolutely. It's exactly about ownership. And I'm sure you must have heard the Mona Lisa analogy 100 times by now. But you can be one of the millions who've seen the Mona Lisa, or you can be the one that actually owns it. And this is pretty much about that. It's
Hmm.
about owning that one piece that nobody else owns.
Yeah. So, how do you think NFTs are going to impact the traditional art industry?
Yeah, so I think it changes everything, for traditional art industry. NFTs not only solve huge pain points for the traditional art industry, but also improve processes and increase monetization opportunities. Thanks to blockchain, provenance is automated and accurate. The story of the artwork, who owned it and who owns it, is publicly available on a decentralized yet verifiable system. Also, once minted, crypto art can't be counterfeited, as it has a
Yeah.
permanent ledger of owners, transaction, and other data and attribution, eliminating all doubts of authenticity and ownership.
Hmm.
And there's another point which Chamath and Scott Belsky spoke about, which I think was huge, that it puts all art on a level playing field. You no longer need to have a curator or critic to value your work. The value lies
Right.
in the transaction, which is ultimately democratic. And because of that, you're creating this linear correlation between creators and collectors without middlemen. And I think one of the other key features is, the portability and liquidity aspect of crypto art, that it can be easily transferred to other owners or sold on other marketplaces, or, anywhere in the metaverse, including virtual worlds like Sandbox or Crypto Voxels, and even galleries like Metacovens or
Hmm.
Metapalooza. And galleries are definitely leveraging NFTs, right? Like we saw with the 69 million people sale that was auctioned
Yeah.
by Christie's.
Hmm.
And the world knew Christie's, and now they know
Yeah.
people. And this is what happens when you the limelight back on creators.
Hmm.
um, and right after the Christie's people sale, Sotheby's got into it with artist
Yes.
Park, and then Christie's did another one with Emily Ratajkowski. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but yeah,
Yeah.
for her, buying myself back NFT drop, which I think was like 2 days back, got sold for $175,000. So galleries, they may not have the technology, but they have the artists and they have the
Right.
buyers. They just need a platform to integrate NFTs.
Yeah. And I think even galleries will adopt the blockchain technology because, like you said, art forgery is so common that it will eliminate that problem.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the big aspect here that blockchain technology brings, where everything is publicly accessible yet verifiable. And there are interesting brands, companies like Lobus and Verisart in US, who are creating authentication on physical artworks, on the blockchain with all the metadata and attribution. So definitely, there's a huge scope for traditional art to be able
Hmm.
to leverage NFTs and blockchain in general.
Mm-hmm. One con of blockchain is its energy consumption. What are your views on that?
There's a couple of things here. One is that Ethereum is going to come up with ETH 2.0, which with layer 2 minting, it's going to reduce energy consumption by about 99%. Also,
Oh,
I feel it's going to be better, faster, cheaper. Also, I feel the narrative around energy consumption is being looked at in isolation.
okay.
If you see there is all the energy consumption or carbon footprint, with art fairs, with private jets flying in, and all the
Yeah.
wood for easels and the oil for paints and the cotton for canvases, and you have some sort of assumption that all this would be making a huge carbon footprint. So I think it's not fair to just look at it from that sense. I think there's going to be more developer tools are going
Hmm.
to come out. With Ethereum smart contracts getting better, we're going to definitely see that energy consumption reduce considerably.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about it. Yeah, that
Um,
we're looking at it in isolation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other thing is also Ethereum is moving from proof of work to proof of stake,
Mm-hmm.
which is proof of work is basically where miners are competing, to mine, and you get rewarded whoever's the fastest, and then proof of stake is essentially that you've been chosen to mine, and you're just getting a
Fee.
on that transaction. So that's going to be a huge, game changer in terms of energy consumption.
Right. So galleries and all of these might adapt to the whole technology. Do you think traditional art collectors, people who like having physical art, or art curators will adapt to NFTs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know it may seem like we're in this bubble right now, with the media exuberance and the frenzy around the people 16 million sale, or the
Hmm.
CryptoPunks NFT bundle just went for 17 million about 4 days ago, and that's all very fun and exciting. And the more platforms are launched and more of these sales happen, it gets to the masses, right? It gets in the WhatsApp forwards, and which is great because that's how the ecosystem grows. And the more barriers to collecting and adoption are lowered incredibly, the more non-traditional art collectors are getting in on it. And I think we're already there. I mean, we're beyond the traditional art collectors and curators. And I'll give you an example of
Hmm.
statistics from the Beeple sale. 91% of the bidders were new clients of Christie's, and two-thirds
Oh.
two-thirds were millennials. So clearly, they represent a new generation of collectors. This person named Andrew Steinwald, who runs this amazing podcast called Zima Red, dedicated to NFTs and the amazing entrepreneurs, from that space. And he
Mm-hmm.
put it so well. He said, NFTs are the Trojan horse that will bring mass adoption to cryptocurrency. I think that was huge because that's what's happening right now. People don't care about complicated concepts like blockchain or decentralized platforms,
Right.
but if you show them a world where there's this amazing art and cool collectibles with a great community that they can be part of, and even earn money or support artists, and invest in art, music, sports, culture, which may potentially give them better returns than the fixed assets. That's more relatable. And that's what people want to be part of. And then they're going to be more inclined to check that stuff out. Then there's also a lot of amazing people writing about the macro and long term implications of NFTs beyond what may seem like a hype culture right now. There's Jesse Walden or Lee Jen, uh, talking about the ownership
Okay.
economy and passion economy. There's also Linda Shea, Daniel Scrivener, Scott Belsky, who is the founder CEO of Behance and current CPO of Adobe, Sri Ramakrishnan on A16Z Crypto Podcast. I mean, I'm constantly following these guys and their creative awareness
I can see.
via writings and podcasts or clubhouse sessions, and which is what we need right now.
Right.
Whether it's for art entrepreneurs like me or new collectors or just anyone who's interested in this space. So it's very, very exciting.
Yep. And I've also heard that a lot of people have started their own startups which complement the whole NFT business. A lot of people are coming up with their own digital frames for people who've bought NFTs and they want to display. I also heard that Mark Cuban is coming up with his own platform, or I think a website where everyone who's bought an NFT can display it. Since Art and Found is also in the same space, I mean, it's in the art space, do you plan on adapting to this technology?
Yeah, there used to be a brand called Infinite Objects, and there's also Mural, and these were
Hmm.
basically, art screens, art frames, digital art frames. And even Samsung has one.
Yeah.
It's called Samsung Frame. So of course, the idea is that okay, now I have my NFT. Where can I display it? Apart from social media, online in the digital sphere. And today it's much easier to show off what you own online or on social
Yeah.
media than in the physical world. But yes, there will be use cases of digital art frames to be able to display your NFT. And yes, NFTs is the one that Mark Cuban has started, which is essentially a social media platform for NFTs.
Yeah. Even I heard even Gary V is super into I mean, he gets in, he's an early adapter. He pretty much gets into every new thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're exploring the space, but I don't want to jump into it for the heck of it. In terms of what we will do, our mission is to make art accessible, and we will
Hmm.
stay true to that. I'm already speaking with artists, community of buyers,
Hmm.
brand heads handling Asia Pac and Semina region, including the head of planning at Ogilvy, the agency where Art and Found was born as a side project,
Hmm.
which opens up a portfolio of brands. And I'm also speaking with top gallery owners here in India, like Sanjana Shah from Tao Art Gallery and Henna Kapadia from Dark, to see how we can
Hmm.
integrate NFTs, for their mm, global art buyers and artists. Um, you know what? I promise you another podcast when I launch.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. But do you think NFTs is complementary to physical art?
Yes. In fact, both can coexist, right? There's always going to be a market for physical art. Evidently, we're seeing a whole new market of collectors emerging for crypto art, and several factors have contributed to that rise. One is due to COVID, people have spent a lot of time online, garnering an interest in digital
Hmm.
art and social media. And two, the value of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and especially Ethereum has skyrocketed. And NFTs aren't new; they have been around since 2017 when CryptoKitties and CryptoPunks launched. But
Hmm.
thanks to Ethereum smart contracts and the infrastructure for mining and trading, now is much stronger, allowing digital art to be accessible and ownable like never before. And not just complementary to art, but also products and experiences. I think the utility of NFTs is what's interesting, which is okay, I own this NFT. Now, what else can I do with it? Can I exchange it for sneakers? Can it get me access to front row seats to Kings of Leon concerts? Can it get me VIP tickets to Bonnaroo Music Festival? That's what's really interesting, where
Hmm. Hmm.
creators and brands can build this ongoing economic relationship with true fans. And moving forward, more bringing more utility to digital assets will be key.
And art is a lot about novelty and having something that's rare because anyone can go out and create their own NFT. Do you think the entire concept of NFTs can make art less rare?
In fact, it's the other way. NFTs
Mm-hmm.
fill the missing ingredient of scarcity. So when
Mm-hmm.
an artist mint, that is, uploads an NFT, they can assign the number of artworks, whether it's single or limited
Yeah.
edition, which means there will only be those many assigned available on the blockchain, allowing them to track the distribution and scarcity of their art. Add to that authenticity and ownership, the two other missing pieces of the puzzle. Yes, there is the question of why can't I just copy it or print it, to which
Yeah.
the short that the short answer is that you can, but this isn't about that. This is about
Yeah.
ownership. And there's a difference between experience of consumption versus experience of ownership. I read this amazing analogy by Nick Tomeno, who's a general partner at a popular crypto fund, One Confirmation, who talks about Rene Girard's theory of mimetic desire, which suggests that humans are imitative creatures and all human desire is based on the desire of others. We want to own what others want to own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking about crypto art in that context makes total sense. As to why scarcity can have massive value and mimetic desire gets more intense the more connected we are. And this fast growing ecosystem is doing exactly that. Today we may be social distancing, but we are more connected thanks to NFTs and the advent of Web 3.0, and communities are coming closer. And guess what? Everyone makes money: creators, collectors, collaborators, and developers.
Yeah. I saw this one post about this F1 photographer also going out and like selling his own images as NFTs, which was so interesting. Like, I wouldn't think that it would become so popular that even sport photographers would be like, I can go and make an NFT out of all of the images that I clicked over the years. Or I even saw some meme pages like going out and creating their own NFTs. And I think Twitter's CEO or some founder, I think he also went out and
Yeah,
like
Jack Dorsey's
so
tweet, and
his
yeah,
first
even
tweet, he went and sold
exactly,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you can imagine why it would have so much value, right? I mean, that was a big moment, and
Yeah.
you want to be part of a big moment for Twitter, maybe, and that's why there is value in that. So I think the more you understand as to, why people want to be part of something or collect something that may have, a lot of story, and it's essentially storytelling, right? And NFTs are bringing value to storytelling, whether it's art or sports. With NBA Top Shots, every moment is a story, and you're putting essentially a value on that I can own this.
And I also heard this one podcast where someone was saying that a lot of people are getting into the NFT space just to make a few extra coins. Like, I bought this NFT for $20,000 and 3 days later I sold it for 25, 26, 30, whatever the figure, but higher than what they bought. Do you have any views on that?
Yeah, of course, there's going to be speculative value where you're buying something to trade it later. That's been the case with cryptocurrencies in general, with Bitcoin in general. But here it's the added layer of actually owning something non-fungible and be able to trade that. So yes, there is going to be the bragging rights, but as I said, there's a deeper reason as to why you're collecting a story that you want to be part of or you have an inclination towards. And I think the more you understand that you can see that there's long-term implications for NFTs beyond its speculative value.
I have three more fun questions for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ask
yeah.
all of my guests these three questions, okay? So my first one is, which I think I know the answer already. What is your current fixation?
CrossFit and NFTs are my two current fixations.
Okay. Second is, it's off topic, but I still will have to ask you. If you were on a dating app, what would your bio say?
Non-fungible token with a high quality experience.
Oh, I love that. And my last question is, if there was a rumor you could spread about yourself, what would it be?
So one rumor that could spread
Yeah, you would like to
about
spread
me.
about yourself.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you a good one, which is very me, and my friends know this about me. It would be something like Pizza Hut or Domino's just revoked their offers because of Hadi.
Why?
Point is, I eat a lot. And I've done this before where Pizza Hut had like this, all you can eat thing for like, whatever some amount.
Yeah.
And I pretty much went in there and smashed a lot of pizzas. So I think, yeah, I next day onwards, they actually did not have that offer going on.
Really?
Uh, Yeah, so like my friends make fun, just mock me. It's you who did it. They revoked it. So I think a good rumor would be,
You
yeah.
can find us on Instagram at She Ready Podcast. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff, bloopers, and sometimes fun memes. You can email me at shereadypodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review, and if you do like my content, please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in and see you next week.